The driver's seat is brought to you by Ray Reese Volkswagen, family owned and specializing in Volkswagens for over 15 years, and proudly presenting the all-new Portland Hyundai. Check them out at rayreese.com.
In our driver's seat, it's the 2008 Toyota Sequoia. Originally introduced in 2000 as a 2001 model year, it walked away with the North American Truck of the Year award that very year. It's built out of the Princeton, Indiana plant, and for 2008, it's a new chassis, a new interior. In fact, it's all new, and it's built on the Toyota Tundra platform.
Well, the first time I saw the Toyota Sequoia, I thought someone had possibly grabbed our Project Toyota Tundra and spray painted this beautiful gold color. But you know what? Even though they are very similar, there's a lot of things that have changed when the addition of the back end being closed in and more of a luxury-based vehicle versus the Toyota Tundra, which is that work truck. Now, I'll tell you, there's a lot of attributes in this new truck that are different. On a mechanical side, we're going to take a look at those. We're going to take a look at inside and that great useful interior. Right now, we're going to take a look
Underneath the hood of the 2008 Toyota Sequoia, we'll find a 5.7-litre engine. And this engine is significant for many reasons, and Dennis will give you all the numbers on it. But one of the great things it does is it's able to accelerate while towing, and it pulls 10,000 pounds.
Now that we've got the hood open on the brand new Sequoia, the engine package, transmission included, are right from the Tundra. 381 horsepower and 403 foot-pounds of torque, churning out of 5.7 liters of V8 power. Now, that's not the real big story. The story is in the rear suspension. We'll get to that in just a second. But I want to talk about my personal experience driving this vehicle. Overall, it is a little bit softer than the truck, and I think that's something they tuned into the vehicle. The steering feels a little lighter. I like it to be a little tighter. I like to kind of feel what the front suspension's doing, but I think the overall drivers of the vehicle are going to like that nice light feel when they're going to the mall or picking someone up or even going off-road in a mild-mannered way. Now, the thing about it, too, is the mileage. The fuel mileage on the vehicle is rated a little higher than what I got. Granted, I drive the car a little more aggressively than I think the average buyer. I drive it like I stole it. I admit it. I got about 13 to about 14 miles per gallon overall, but one of the other testers of the vehicle got almost 19, so it's there if you want it. But overall, great drivability, great power, great package. Now, I mentioned I'd get to this in just a second. It's the rear suspension of the new Sequoia. Unlike the Tundra that uses a solid rear axle, the Sequoia uses a fully independent rear suspension. Now, the benefits to you are this: better handling overall. It does way more than the average Tundra, but also better ride control when you're going down the road. You still get the limited slip rear differential, so you can put the power on both sides. But overall, I gotta say, one of the best rides you can find in a full-size sport utility.
Taking a look at the exterior of the 2008 Toyota Sequoia, it's wider, longer and higher than the previous model. Taking a look at the front, well, you can see the typical trapezoidal front end of a Toyota, bigger headlights this time around, hidden windshield wipers, and the windshield itself has been designed to reduce those infrared rays.
Well, when you start at the front of the Toyota Sequoia and get to about where I'm standing, it's all just like a Toyota Tundra, but that's about where it ends. Now, the Platinum Edition, you can see the badge right here, gives you a little bit more of the luxurious things that come along with a big sport utility like this. I have to mention the running boards. They're actually useful. Some of the things on vehicles like this type don't really make it so you can use it as a step in. These are actually useful. And when you close in the back of a vehicle like this, you got to look for space and space management. Power rear deck, all the things that you can do in the back, including power fold the rear seats, make it a great useful vehicle. Big bumper, big space, big power. Now we're going to jump into the inside and look at big power.
On the inside of the 2008 Toyota Tundra, they wanted to make this vehicle useful and friendly. It's definitely comfort-driven with an all-new seat design, and also the front seat, the driver's seat, has several features. It includes a lumbar support. There's a backup camera, and also you can operate the rear glass from the front here and get it to go up and down.
And all that comfort goes right back into this second row. You know, again, I'm 6'2", and I can stretch my legs out in front of me. Tons of room. And you know what? Between the front seat, the back seat, and the center seat, there's only a couple inches of difference in legroom. The amazing amount of room that they have in the third row is definitely something the competitors have to pay attention to. Now, when you get to storage, you're talking about a huge center console with all kinds of places to put your stuff, even your blankie and your bear for your kids.
We've come to the part in our show when we talk about our 2 ups and 1 down. For this, the 2008 Toyota Sequoia. My 2 ups are fairly easy. Great remodel on this vehicle. They've done great in increasing the dimensions and also making the vehicle very usable. My 2nd up for the vehicle is the interior, very specifically the seats. All new seat design on the inside really gives those seats to anybody of any size and any weight. They're made for people who are taller than normal, people who are wider than normal, people that are heavier than normal. Also things like the back support and the fold down usability of the seats in the 2nd and the 3rd row. My down for this vehicle is, even though there's lots of room inside and it's very comfortable for whatever your size, I still think there's a little bit of a wasted space area in the front. That's between the front 2 seats. It really calls for a bench seat or a 3rd seat in the front area. I think if they put that in as an option for people, they'd really score 10 out of 10 with this car.
When it comes to my 2 ups and 1 down for this, the 2008 Toyota Sequoia Platinum Edition, it's pretty easy for me to narrow them down. The first one is the fact that rear independent suspension really does soften up the ride. Comparative to our Toyota Tundra package, especially with the lift kit and the firm sidewalls on the big tires and wheels, this thing drives like a dream. I do like the fact that it has that soft steering. I know that it's different than the pickup truck, but I just like the overall drive. And I think people out there in big sport utilities, they may not need something this big, but they want it to drive with a sort of nimble feel and very easy to get around town. My other up is going to be the big comfort on the inside. Not just the front, but that 2nd and 3rd row. I'm 6'2", and I've been shrinking if you've been paying attention. I've lost almost 40 pounds, but I can still get into the 2nd row and the 3rd row and find lots of comfort, both in legroom and hip and shoulder. My down is going to be a couple of the things that just are nuances about this vehicle. I talked about it in the interior stuff. Why is it that I can't engage the radar-controlled cruise control when I have the wipers on? Hey, guess what, Toyota? I know how to drive in the rain. Don't make me go by your rules. That is going to complete our review of the 2008 Toyota Sequoia Platinum Edition. The 2008 Toyota Sequoia Platinum Edition comes standard with a 5.7-liter V8 and a 6-speed automatic transmission. Suggested retail price is $55,600 with an as-tested price of $57,055. City mile per gallon EPA rating is 13. Highway EPA rating is 18.